Welcome back to Softcore History. I'm your host for the week, Dan Regester, joined not by Rob Fox today. He's on paternity leave. Yes, I'm a gracious co-host. I allow Rob to give birth to his child with his wife.
Yeah.
He has the day off.
He gave birth this time.
Instead, the Ides of March just passed.
Mm-hmm.
Who better than to have the Iconoblast boys, Joel Benner, Matt Cooper. Welcome to the show.
Happy to be here, man.
What's up?
R.I.P. Julius Caesar.
Dude, you guys did like 30 episodes on him.
In secret.
We were on our way to 30, but kind of got shot down.
Where did it get stopped?
Around episode 13. So the last thing that it was when Caesar brought Cleopatra back from Egypt.
Yeah.
That we.
But we kind of kept going. We
series.
just called the episodes about Cleopatra, but it was mostly
Yeah,
about
we named them after other people in the story, but it was still the continuation of Julius Caesar.
He's an interesting man. Cleopatra is whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean throat goat, but aside from that, she didn't really do much.
All she has to offer to the world is her mouth. No thanks.
Yeah, nothing else you need if you're good at it.
She was the best at it.
So, it's St. Paddy's Day as this comes out. We just did an episode on the Irish. Actually upset a couple Irish listeners.
About the whiskey flood?
I guess so, because
What
we
were
were
they
making
upset
fun of
about?
our ancestors. We got our Irish cards revoked, me and Rob. So I guess I'm no
Ooh.
longer Irish.
Damn, that's rough. Does that
It's
mean you can't
okay.
like drink and beat women anymore?
I think so. Yeah. I think I no longer have that pass.
Shit, those are the only two things I enjoy in life.
I have to embrace my forced British ancestry. My last name, Regester, is British.
Is it? Where does that come from? I don't think I've ever met anybody with the name Regester before.
It means people that lived beside a hill.
That's why would you need a specific word for that?
I don't know.
Oh
It's
yeah,
kinda
he's a
baller.
Regester.
Baller to live by a hill.
I imagine it was just kind of forced on my Irish ancestors. A little, some of the R word.
The Irish did get a lot of stuff forced onto them by the British back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I just found out about the Troubles like not that long ago. Like I knew about the Troubles. I knew they happened in the 70s. I didn't know they were in internment camps.
They had fucking internment camps?
The British had internment camps in Northern Ireland in like 1970, and I think some of the members were in jail
shit.
until like 2000.
What?
Yes, this blew my mind.
For what? I don't know anything about
For
this.
being IRA members.
Yeah, the IRA was kind of a rough institution. They
but
blew up a few things.
they just kind of, it was like this broad umbrella for any military-age male in like the 70s. They just kind of threw them in prison. Oh, you're an IRA member.
God damn, the Irish can't catch a fucking break anywhere.
Are they cool anymore? Were they cool? I think Conor McGregor made him not cool.
I mean, before that, I think they were fairly cool.
Do the Irish even like own Connor at this point? I think they kind of distance themselves.
I'm pretty sure they disavowed him at this point. He got his Irish card revoked.
He is running for, I think, government there.
What?
He's doing like the Manny Pacquiao route.
He'll win.
So, what is he going to try and restart the Troubles?
I don't know. I think he's trying to start his own troubles against like any immigrant that comes into Ireland.
God damn.
But our whole point last week was the Irish have always been conquered and always just kind of beaten around.
They don't win?
We don't win a lot. We're good storytellers.
Well, you're not Irish anymore, right?
I guess I'm not Irish anymore. I got to own my Portuguese roots, my English, Portuguese, and Turkish roots. No longer Irish.
Fuck the Irish, you know what I mean?
Oh, come on.
Well, today we're going to talk about the Irish.
Oh,
It's St. Paddy's Day after all.
okay.
Yeah.
Happy St. Paddy's Day, guys. I'm not wearing green. You have
I'm
to pinch
celebrating.
me.
I would never expect you to wear green. You only own black clothes.
I think I have green underwear, one pair, but not today.
Did they
You're not
start
feeling
off-
lucky, though.
Did they start off green or turn that color?
They turned that color. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just pissing green every day.
I did shit my pants the other day. It sucked. It's a true story. I actually did. It sucked. Here at the studio.
I have pissed green before.
Oh, what?
Really?
St. Paddy's Day in college, they used to dye the beer. So I would hit the block party, crush like 20 green beers. Next day, just fluorescent green piss.
Oh, green piss and black shits.
Not great.
Oh, yeah. I
Sounds awesome.
think I was dying from something.
We're going to talk about a little Irish group called the Fenian Brotherhood. You know about this? Hear about this?
Brotherhood's a good game. Assassin's
Creed. It's where I get all my history.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of people think I'm a dope when it comes to this show.
That was in France, right?
Brotherhood?
Brotherhood. Wasn't it in France?
No, I think that was
I thought most
probably
of it
the
was.
Ezio trilogy.
Oh no, it was in Florence, wherever that is. Italy.
Well, they had one in Italy, and I think the third one in the series went to
Constantinople?
Constantinople.
It might be that one. But, yeah, dude, most of my history I get from Assassin's Creed.
Me too.
That's all
Early
I
games
know.
had a lot of good information in it when it came to history.
It's
I
all
wouldn't know
true.
The
that.
first ones did. Everywhere you went, you could see like they would have a description and like information, and I would actually read all of them when I was a kid playing those games.
To this day, I would have no idea what the Hagia Sophia was if it wasn't for Assassin's Creed.
Hell yeah, I don't know what that is.
All I know is pretty cool to assassinate a pope.
Hell yeah.
Popular throughout history.
Popes are bad dudes. You know, actually, no, they were always right until Vatican II. I'll stand by that.
Vatican II Electric Boogaloo.
Yes. I don't really know anything about Vatican II or what that entailed, but I know it's bad. I know the Catholic Church and the Vatican got
Naughty.
got a little contaminated with outside sources, allegedly. I know nothing about this. I'm going to move on.
All right, yeah. Let's talk about Irish people.
We are. So the Fenian Brotherhood was a group of Mick Americans dedicated to freeing Ireland from the British Crown. Many of these paddies were fresh out of the Civil War and figured, we just beat the South. Why not take on the North? No, obviously not the Union.
Oh, thank God.
More north. The northest north of North America.
The damn dirty Canadians.
Canada?
Yes.
Sick.
Irish Americans, right after the Civil War, invaded Canada.
I didn't know that.
If there's one thing Irish people love, it's a fight.
They didn't win?
Well, that's what this episode's about.
Okay.
The time Irish Americans invaded Canada. Now, the Fenians believed capturing Canada could be used as a bargaining chip to free the homeland. So, in the fall of 1865, they began to make preparations to invade the syrup-sucking scum we call our neighbors.
I'd never heard anything about this before you mentioned it when you came in earlier today, and I was looking into it. It's a fascinating story overall.
Dude, I don't know most of the things I talk about until I write the episode. That's what this show's about. It's about me learning. Rob tries to stun on me with his history, but he didn't get a 5 on his AP US history. I did. And I can always throw that in his face. I'm also undefeated on the Patreon in our game shows. Never lost.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I'm a better Catholic than Rob. I'm a better father than Rob.
Well, it's easy to say all that when he's not here to defend himself.
Listen, I gave him the day off. He's lucky.
That is real sweet of you.
I've never actually taken a show off. I can't. I've been
Ever?
involved in every softcore history ever shot. Rob's missed quite a few.
Man,
What a
fuck that.
piece of
Fuck
shit.
that guy.
He's not a grinder. He's not dedicated.
He's a family man, dude.
Yeah, but what's more important?
He's grinding that pussy, dude, making kids.
No, dude, every time he has sex, he's a child. He's only had sex 3 times in the last 3 years. People don't know this.
God bless him.
He
That's 2
doesn't
more
miss.
times than I have.
3
Strong
boys.
seed.
I'm a little salty, though. Obviously, the first kid's named after him, right? It's Rob. It's Rory. But it's Rob Fox IV. Second kid is Finn Jacob, so it means White Jake. So it's named after our old co-host, Jake Goldman. Third
Okay.
kid. You would think Dan. No, not Dan. Not Daniel. I offered it up. I'm like, hey, why don't you name your kid after me?
Yeah,
Instead,
makes sense.
it went with Samuel. Sam?
So he's not even giving you like middle name Daniel or anything like that?
Nah, middle name's named after his wife's middle name, too. I didn't even get a goddamn middle name.
God damn.
Maybe I'll get a confirmation name. Maybe little Sam, once he reaches 6th grade and gets confirmed by the Holy Spirit, when the Holy Spirit enters him, he'll choose the name Daniel.
Man, Catholicism's a weird religion.
Do they call you uncle?
Not yet. Actually, Rory came in the other day, and he was afraid of me. I think he
Nice.
heard some of the things I've said about him in the past.
You do talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, haven't you been threatening to fight him for since he was born?
Yeah, because
No,
he's
before he
rude.
was born.
He's a monster. That's why. He needs to be stopped. He needs to be put in his place. I was going to raise his other kid, Finn, to take on the older brother and have like a
Finn's a
sibling
good name.
rivalry.
Finn
Finn's
is
a great name. Yeah, yeah.
I like
Solid
Samuel.
Rory, also a great nickname for Rob.
I mean, I didn't even know Rory was a nickname for Rob, but
I didn't
all
either,
three
but
of the names,
yeah,
solid,
just go
strong names.
straight Irish. Like the third kid should be Patrick.
Yeah.
All things considered, Patrick. I mean, Daniel's a great Irish name. Couldn't get anything from this man.
Samuel. Who's a famous Samuel dude that's tough? Besides L. Jackson.
Well, I think that's the toughest one out of all of them.
Was Samuel in the Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple Samuels in there.
Sam had the long hair, right? Cut his hair.
That's the first thing I thought of.
No,
That's Samson.
Samson.
Same thing.
That was almost my nephew's name.
Samson would have been a better name than
Samson's
Samuel.
a way.
Oh,
cooler
yeah, that
name.
would be way cooler.
Samson Fox?
Yeah.
Sounds like a porn star.
I feel like Samson though. I cut my hair and I cut my beard.
You lost
Immediate
your power?
loss at the gym. Yeah. I wasn't as strong yesterday.
I think
It's-
everybody in the studio was against you cutting your beard or your hair.
I know. I'm sorry. It's getting
Shameful.
hot.
I could barely get my ass here. I was like so pissed about it.
You had to
I'm
look at
gonna no call, no show on this.
had to
because
look
of
at
what
old
you
pictures
did.
of you to get in the mood.
Answer for your crimes, Dan. The Fenian Brotherhood was founded in 1858 by John O'Mahony. I mean, can you get more Irish than that?
O'Mahony?
O'Mahony.
Is O is middle initial or it's O'Mahony?
O'Mahony is his last name.
Oh yeah, you
Is
don't.
there
get
like a
any-
little dash or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get any more Irish than that.
John O'Mahony, dude. He's my homie.
It's hard to say. Just like clean that up a little bit. Just go John Mahoney.
Yeah, that's what you would think.
John O'Mahony. It's too many syllables.
It's a lot of syllables to say when you're drunk too.
He had come to the U.S. after playing a big part in the failed Young Irelander Rebellion of 1848. The name of the group comes from a Fenian cycle, which was a collection of Gaelic poems that were centered around the mythical pre-Christian Irish army. The group was solidified with conventions in Chicago in 1864 and in Cincinnati in 1865. This all went down as O'Mahony found himself as the colonel of the 69th Regiment of the New York State Militia, leading Irish forces for the Union against, obviously, the Confederates. So a lot of these dudes become hardened vets in the Civil War.
Sick.
There's just straight up Irish regiments.
And the Fenian Brotherhood, it's primarily like a political group, or did this start off as like a social club or something?
Both. It was for the freedom of Ireland. So it was just like, we support this club, we're members of this club, we're putting our money towards independence.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was kind of a political machine as well.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes were running for local politics. There was dudes that were running for national politics too. And it's just, you kind of had this like backing of the Fenian Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm. Sort of like a Irish mafia kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
They sound racist just because of the name.
Well, and because they're Irish. That
Oh,
does
yeah.
run in the blood.
Fenian's not too far off of Aryan.
Yeah.
But you'll never find Irish that
Brotherhood.
are supremacists. Like, I don't think there's a single Irish supremacist. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, not that I can think of. But yeah, you throw Brotherhood at the end of anything, it sounds pretty racist.
Yeah.
Not being able to have a work-life balance between war with the Confederates and operating his Spud Club, he chose Irish independence over freeing American slaves and resigned from his post to get the wheels really moving on the Fenians. His presidency of the Brotherhood was quickly challenged by William R. Roberts. O'Mahony was a bit cash poor from his decades-long quest for a free Ireland, and Roberts quickly found himself as an influential member, having deep pockets himself. O'Mahony, starts the American chapter of the Fenian Brotherhood. This is kind of like a spin-off of a bunch of groups in Ireland. And then as soon as he gets in and as soon as he leads, he's already getting ousted by other dudes
And they're just booting him out because he's poor?
because he's poor. He
It's
lost
like-
all his money.
Damn.
Almost every Irish person is poor.
Lots of prostitutes probably too.
That's where a lot of the money went.
Outside of money from Roberts, the organization sold bonds to keep their mission going. These would be redeemable 6 months after the official recognition of the independent Ireland, and all the potato-popping pilgrims that immigrated to our shores were happy to donate. O'Mahony was of the belief that the Irish veterans should come together and voyage straight over to take Ireland back from the British head-on.
That sounds like a pyramid scheme right there. Like, oh, just give me some money. As soon as Ireland's free, we'll pay you back.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you're contributing to something that's, like, almost an incredible long shot. Like, think at the time.
Oh, you don't get it back unless they win.
Yeah.
6 months after. They got to keep the country for 6 months.
Let me guess, they don't ever get it back.
No, Ireland becomes independent, Joel.
Oh.
Ireland does eventually become independent. Not till the 1920s. But
Yeah, long after everybody involved in this is dead.
Well, they get their money back?
maybe their family did. I don't know. Have you ever tried to cash bonds?
No, I've
No.
never dealt with that.
Your grandparents or your parents didn't give you bonds back in the day? They
Oh,
would
God,
mature
no,
20 years later?
No, my family hates me.
That's a racket. My grandfather would get me like a $50 bond every year. Be like, oh, it'll be worth a lot of money, in 20, 30 years. It's not. I cashed them after they matured. Years of interest.
Would you get like 55
Seven.
Got
bucks?
like an extra $5.
Dude, I was joking, but yeah,
I'm not
55
kidding.
bucks.
It was worth nothing. I thought I was sitting on a gold mine. It was trash, Joel. Absolute trash.
Well,
Grampy didn't care about me. He had 2 grandkids.
you got $55, dude. I didn't get any money from my
I mean,
grandpa.
at least he tried.
Yeah.
All I got was an old ass rifle that I don't think works anymore.
That's kind of cool though.
That's cooler.
It is a pretty cool rifle, I gotta say.
It was like 20 years worth of bonds. Got me through a month when I was unemployed.
So is that like a $50 bond every year for 20 years?
It was for every holiday too. So it was like, I think in total I cashed like $1,500.
Shit, that's not bad.
20
It's
years worth of bonds though.
I mean, over 20 years, it's not all that much.
I was
but
expecting so much more. I thought I was, I also had the Princess Diana Beanie Baby.
there was
that
a,
was going to be worth
there was a
something.
Princess Diana
Oh,
Beanie Baby.
shit,
The
Beanie
purple bear.
Babies.
Well, I never heard about
My
that.
mom threw out all my Pokemon cards, so there goes that wealth.
Dude,
That was generational.
that's where the money would have been. Beanie
I still
Babies
got
didn't.
my cards, X-Men cards and shit, like full collections that are worth money. My sister has them.
Dude, get those things appraised. I've gotten into watching like old reruns of Pawn Stars lately, and some of that shit you can like retire off.
I've
of
got
that.
like an X-Men 1 comic.
Like, do you know the year?
The very first one, it was like 92 or something.
X-Men started
Dude.
in 92.
Or maybe it wasn't
no.
X-Men. It was the one with when Cable joined. Cable's one. The
Oh,
other
so
team.
That's later on in the series because yeah, it initially started in the 1960s because it was about the civil rights movement. Or 60s, 70s, something like that. I know nothing about comics.
Real cool Stanley.
X-Men, not Sexmen.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about those.
Roberts had a different plan than to go right to Ireland. He believed that by attacking and holding parts of Canada, they could hold the land hostage against the crown or divert British forces over to leave Ireland vulnerable for rebellion. Also, a bunch of the Irish Union vets were just pissed off at the UK as they supported the Confederacy and really wanted to stick it to them by invading their lands. In October of 1865, Roberts met with U.S. Secretary of State William Seward and President Andrew Johnson. Roberts asked the president straight up if he was cool with the group of Irish vets going rogue and attacking the Canucks. Johnson
Canucks.
did not outright support it, but he essentially gave him a backdoor nod to go on with his plans.
So they approached the president to ask if they could invade the U.S.'s closest neighbor,
Mhm.
and the president was just like, "I don't approve, but I'll just look the other way." God damn, that's insane. The old days, like back when you could fund your own war, they were amazing. We need to go back to that. I want to see more independent armies marching around, taking over other nations.
Well, he didn't give him approval, right? He just turned a blind eye. Is that what you're saying?
Little shoulder shrug, just like, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah. He's like, do it, but I'm not gonna
I'm not going to help you, but I'm not
help
gonna,
you. And if Canada says something, I can. He's got.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah. He's safe. But fuck up those Canucks, dude.
I've been saying it for years. Fuck Canada.
South Park's been saying it for years.
Yeah.
That's where I first learned fuck Canada.
Americans don't like Canadians.
Canadians
like
don't
part of
really
our
like us
culture.
anymore either.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going both
I don't
ways
think
for a
anyone
while.
really likes us anymore.
Dude, I don't care though.
Me neither.
Like, what are you going to do about it, guys?
Well,
What country
yeah.
loves us anymore?
All right, that's a really good question. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But you don't. When you're on top, you don't need friends.
I think when we stopped making good movies, that's when the world stopped liking us. Because that was the only thing we did good for the world.
Out of everything America's
they're like
done,
they're killing everybody and fucking everything up, but they make awesome movies.
No,
But
they're
now we
pissed
don't even
off
do that.
now that we don't give them money anymore.
We don't do that now either. Yeah, we're like fucking up everything cool we did. No one likes us anymore.
Who
going to
cares,
hell in a
though?
handbasket.
Like, they can't do anything. Even as like a unit, we would wreck their shit.
Oh, we by far we have the strongest military in the world. We could fuck up everybody.
We should honestly do exhibition wars against our own units. Just to show
For
our
training?
power. Just to
like
show our power,
televise it.
yeah.
Dude, I'd get that pay-per-view if they started doing that. Just put different brigades against each other. That'd be fucking awesome.
We should just attack actual countries to show our power.
I think we're
Like,
about
just to show other people.
This is what we did in the 1800s.
We should have never stopped moving south. There's really a lot of cool beaches in Mexico.
That was the thing with the Mexican-American War. We were too lenient with our kind of haul, with our booty. We could have taken way more land.
Oh, absolutely. Pretty much we just got, like half of California and most of Texas out of it?
Yeah, no, we could have like carved a nice part of Mexico.
I mean, could have at least gotten that whole peninsula over there or something.
Same thing with us giving back the Panama Canal. Not cool with it, bro. That's ours. That should be ours.
Yeah, we'll be taking it back soon.
Hopefully.
BlackRock will
We
be.
started the Panama Revolution against Colombia. And the agreement was this is our canal.
And now it's not? And now it's China's canal?
I guess. I don't know.
Well, I think we gave it back to Panama, and then Panama just kind of opened it up to China.
Panama's not a real country.
Heard you could party there.
Panamanians.
It's a party place, right? Panama? Panama! That song makes me feel like you could party there.
Dude, I think David Lee Roth can make it sound like you can party anywhere.
The Fenians came together for convention in Philadelphia. Roberts, with the approval of the president, essentially, rallied his delegation to move forward with the attack on Canada.
You know he said that he had approval, too. Even though it was kind of like, okay. He was like, dude, the president says attack.
O'Mahony wasn't totally into it, but that wasn't a problem because the group just removed him from his position of president of the Brotherhood during this convention. Roberts was put in charge, and we were ready to go to war, boys.
Hell yeah.
Roberts' Secretary for War was General T.W. Sweeney, who was struck off the American Army list from January 1866 to November of 1866 to allow him to organize the raids. So he officially took off from his job with the U.S. Army to put
And
together.
they let him.
Yeah. They're just like, yeah,
So
you're
they do
good.
kind of have permission then.
Yeah, to me that sounds like it's pretty.
Just not on paper.
That's why he's kind of written off the list. It's
Yeah.
like you can, I guess, this is your thing. We're not going to hold you to it. It's not going to be associated with the U.S. Army.
Dude,
Have at it.
That's just insane. Because could you imagine nowadays, like, you know, like one of the officers from the military nowadays saying, like, hey, I'm just going to take off a couple months and we're going to go fucking invade Canada.
And they're like, all right, we'll keep you on salary.
Yeah.
But it's off the record.
Job will be waiting for you when you get back.
He also issued this proclamation on the Brotherhood's behalf. So this is to Canada. We come among you as foes of British rule in Ireland. We have taken up the sword to strike down the oppressor's rod, to deliver Ireland from the tyrant. We have registered our oaths upon the altar of our country in the full view of heaven, and sent out our vows to the throne of him who inspired them. Then, looking about us for an enemy, we find him here in your midst, where he is most vulnerable and convenient to our strength. We have no issue with the people of these provinces and wish to have none but the most friendly relations. Our weapons are for the oppressors of Ireland. Our bows shall be directed only against the power of England. We do not propose to divest you of a solitary right you now enjoy. We are here neither as murderers nor robbers for plunder. We are here as the Irish Army of Liberation. In a word, our war is with the armed powers of England, not the people, not these provinces, against England, upon land and sea, till Ireland is free. You ever hear about that? That sounds very familiar.
What do you mean?
Upon land and sea, till Ireland is free.
Is that an IRA thing?
From the river to the sea.
Oh, okay.
Dog, are the Palestinians just ripping off the Irish?
It seems like they might be.
Wait, so they sent a letter on horseback or something? Like,
Yeah, they just sent a message, just like as they're invading Canada, like, hey,
We're
not
coming in.
we're not here to like fight Canadians. We're here to like go against the English military. So just let us do our thing.
It's like nothing against you, but we're taking
coming
over
in.
your country. That's crazy that they're sending that threat also because they don't have a big army. Like, do we know what their numbers are?
and they said they had bows. You know, it's like you're
Metaphoric
like, what?
bows.
They're coming in with bows.
Not actual bows.
Okay. Good luck.
They didn't have, like, they're not fielding thousands and thousands of troops, right? They've got to have
It's just
like,
whoever signs up.
so they've got together like a few hundred or maybe
It's
a
like 30
thousand.
drunk Irish dudes with
Sometimes
bows and arrows.
Sometimes it's like 40 dudes. Sometimes it's like 900. Really
That's
depends on the day.
insane.
The Brotherhood had some early problems with organization and effectiveness.
Imagine that.
Weird.
Bunch
A
of drunk Irishmen trying to
Irish
organize.
vets, or
Yeah.
maybe not timely or have the best communication.
It's hard to fight when you're constantly hungover.
In April, the Fenians staged a raid against Campobello Island in New Brunswick. The extent of this was just damage to a few buildings. Just set fire to some stuff.
Ran up
British stuff.
threw a couple rocks, set a few things on fire, and then split.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shot their bow and arrows at the stone walls. They're just like broken arrows on the ground they had to clean up. A couple beer cans.
In May 1866, the Fenian plans fell apart because fewer men than expected joined the forces in Chicago, Cleveland, and Buffalo and other locations. Fenian leaders were unable to secure ships needed to transport their forces. Some American officials at the border also intervened and made arrests, fearing an international crisis.
But they had the permission of the president.
Yeah, but
Kind
some
of.
more local dudes on the border, like, what the fuck you do? Go back, or you're going to prison.
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, like 40 drunk Irish guys stumbling across the border like, oh, we're going to get them. Like, dude, go home.
He told us we had permission.
Okay, sure thing, Patty. Now just go ahead and walk back home. Sleep it off.
Sleep it off. Bars don't open till 5.
Finally, in June 1866, they got their shit together. 1,000 heavily armed Fenians crossed the Niagara River from Buffalo, New York. They were led by John O'Neill, a former U.S. cavalry officer who served in Ohio and West Virginia during the Civil War. The Fenians quickly captured the undefended town of Fort Erie, along with its railway and telegraph terminals.
Let me guess, that was like the only territory they were actually able to take.
More or less.
I wonder if that dude's related to Rob. Rob's Irish. Rob O'Neill.
He does have 2 L's.
Dude, I wonder if it actually is.
Probably the same clan.
They arrested the town council and the customs and border officials at the international ferry docks. They forced the town's bakery and hotels to provide them with food.
Yeah.
After cutting out telegraph lines, the insurgents seized horses and tools, which they used to build trenches and fortifications.
Shit.
They were within marching distance of the Welland Canal, the only naval passage between Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. Major General George T.C. Napier, the commander of the British forces in Canada, jumped into action. Some 22,000 militia volunteers were mobilized to respond to
Oh,
the
shit.
Fenian
Fuck.
incursion, but they were poorly trained and unprepared to combat the Fenians. Because, again, the Fenians were like a bunch of like tough Civil War vets. They already
They've been
cut their
warring.
teeth.
Yeah.
They've been in battle. These soft-ass British Canadians, some of them had not shot their rifles yet.
Okay, I see. Okay. So they got a chance.
So the Canadian side, what I was reading earlier, the Canadian side was also like much more well armed, but still, I mean, you'd
They had guns.
yeah,
bows?
they were using muskets instead of bows. Some of them were even some of the Canadians were even packing the Spencer repeating rifle, so like the old school lever action rifle.
Yeah, yeah.
But even with superior numbers, experience definitely trumps all. I mean,
Yeah.
22,000 against 1,000, that's stretching it quite a bit, but it still means a lot to have that battle experience.
They also had like a scarce supply of ammunition.
I read that the guys that were issued the Spencer rifles never got to shoot any of them because they didn't have enough ammunition to train, and they got 28 bullets each.
Shit.
I mean, going into battle with
Are
28
they getting their bullets
is,
from us?
Make them count.
Yeah, you better make them count.
That's my favorite bit of Archer, is where he's just constantly counting how many people or how many shots are going off.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
how many rounds they have left.
I love that show.
They had no food or field kitchens, no proper maps, no provisions for medical care, no canteens for water, and no tools for the proper care of their rifles. So a bunch of like Canadian British loyalists go out with their rifles, and I guess that's it. Like, oh, I guess we'll take care of this pretty quick. We'll squash it. On June 2nd, Lieutenant Colonel Alfred Booker was ordered to move his troops to Fort Erie. Booker found 750 to 800 Fenians at Ridgeway and deployed his men despite his orders to avoid contact. In the first hour of the battle, the Canadians appeared to prevail, driving Fenian skirmishers from their positions. But then something went wrong. Canadian militiamen mistook Fenian scouts on horseback for cavalry. They were ordered to form a square designed to defend against a cavalry charge.
Oh, shit.
This exposed the Canadians to intense Fenian fire.
Dude, the Canadians are fucking blowing it. How do you have an advantage that strong and fuck it up that bad?
Wait, what's happening?
So they think a cavalry is going to come in and charge them.
They're like, oh shit, we're being attacked by.
They're
a bunch
still
of
doing
horse.
like old school tactics where they're like get into formation and get ready for a fucking cavalry charge. So they get all tight, and the Fenians are just like, oh, sick.
Perfect.
I can hit like multiple people at once. Like,
Yeah, it's shooting fish in a barrel at that point.
Okay, I see what's happening.
all things considered, it's not the biggest battle. 9 Canadians are killed, 32 are wounded. The Fenians lose 10 men with an unknown number of wounded. They quickly turn back to Fort Erie, and later that day, the steamship W.T. Robb lands at Fort Erie. A fierce skirmish breaks out. 6 more Canadians were injured, and 36 were taken prisoner. The Fenians lost 9 men with 14 wounded. Shortly afterwards, other Canadian troops and elements of the British 16th and 47th Regiments arrived. John O'Neill was forced to withdraw his forces back to the United States.
Shit.
It was a good try.
They took a undefended town, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they fared pretty well considering
9
what they were
kills?
facing. Yeah, I would think the body count would be a whole lot higher than that.
Lots of wounded, but only 9.
People think that with a lot of battles throughout history, dude, they're just not that big. But like World War I, World War II kind of like distorts our brain.
Yeah, they were the
yeah.
costliest wars in history.
Or like any unknown Chinese war ever that happened throughout history. Those numbers are crazy, but nobody cares about those.
And a casualty is not a death. Casualty is a wounded person too,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. A lot of that could be coming from disease also, because, I mean, they're walking around with unwashed asses, and you get a scratch, you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
5 days after the start of the invasion, U.S. President Andrew Johnson issued a proclamation requiring enforcement of the neutrality laws, guaranteeing the Fenian invasion could no longer continue.
Probably should have done that in the first place if he actually cared about
Nah,
it.
he wanted them to win. He gave them a shot. They lost. So he's like, all right, I got to.
Yeah, they had to retreat, so
Got to save
I gotta-
face.
yeah.
have to. You'd be like, oh,
I got
sorry,
activated
Canada,
in
that
the-
wasn't us. That was just some crazy fucking Irishmen. You know how they are.
I didn't even know that they were planning to do that. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Do you think Johnson knew about the Lincoln assassination? Was he in on it?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question, but
I haven't really looked into it. I'm just asking questions, guys.
he might have been friends with Wilkes Booth.
This feels a lot like 9/11 to me. Like they knew it was coming but didn't do anything about it.
Just
Kinda
let's
thing.
see how it plays out, and then we'll react afterwards.
Yeah.
Who's they in this scenario? Who knew about 9/11?
Exactly. dude. Exactly.
Now, General Ulysses S. Grant and General George Meade went to Buffalo, New York to inspect the situation. Following instructions from Grant, Meade issued strict orders to prevent anyone from violating the border. The U.S. Army was then instructed to seize all Fenian weapons and ammunition and prevent more border crossings. Further instructions on June 7th were to arrest anyone who appeared to be Fenian. So on site, just a little profiling, no big deal.
They're just arresting every Irishman they see.
Yep. Anybody with red hair, freckles, and an accent.
And whiskey on their breath.
Mm-hmm. When John O'Neill and his forces returned, they were all detained, though O'Neill was later pardoned. It's kind of a wink-wink situation. Like, all right, sorry, bro. Like, we have to, for optics, you need to go to prison, brother.
But then they just let him out right away. I
Yeah.
wonder what kind of sentencing the rest of the people were facing. I mean, like, are they spending 20 years in prison for this shit?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I think it's all a slap on the wrist. You can just do whatever. Our first episode of this show was about William Walker, who literally just went with 40 bros to Nicaragua from Tennessee and just became king.
Oh, I heard about that. That's fucking sick.
I really miss those days, man. We got to bring that kind of shit back.
The 1800s were wild. You could just do whatever you wanted. Foreign policy did not exist.
And apparently you could just get kind of like implied permission from the president to invade another country.
You could just get a meeting with the president.
You
That's
could probably
wild.
do that now.
That's just crazy.
Trump would probably let you do that
Yeah.
if you asked him.
It's like I'm gonna get a bunch of dudes to take over Cuba, and I'm just gonna go have a meeting with President Trump. That's insane.
If Elon had like 1,000 dudes with guns and he was like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna go take over Cuba. Just keep it on the down low," he'd be like, "I'm not giving you permission, but do it."
I'll look the other way.
Yeah, I'll look the other way.
The Fenians struck again a few days later after the Battle of Ridgeway. On June 8th, 200 of them crossed the frontier near Huntington to the south of Montreal. The Canadians managed to catch and defeat the Fenians at Pigeon Hill.
Wait, after they were told not to do it, they went back again?
They went back.
Dude, motherfuckers.
I love them now.
That ended this round of attacks. Despite facing a number of setbacks, the Fenians tried again to invade Canada in 1870. Of course.
Wait, so this is the third time that they've tried it now, right?
Yeah.
Man, they just can't learn their lesson.
And it's this fucking dude, John O'Neill. I wonder if he
He's
is related to
obsessed with
Rob.
So the guy who got arrested and sent to prison temporarily got out and just started doing the same shit over
Needs to
again.
guess
He's
some.
passionate, dude.
Yeah.
I like him.
He was proclaimed a hero after Ridgeway and was appointed Inspector General of the Fenian Forces. On May 25th, 1870, he left Vermont for Quebec with 600 Fenians. The Fenians were defeated in a short, sharp action, losing 5 men and 18 wounded. There were no losses for the Canadians. So between
Oh, no.
the first invasions in like 66, there's this like 4-year gap, 4-year gap, where the Canadians are like, we need to get our fucking shit together with our army because it's embarrassing. And so they do. And this galvanized the Canadian forces and actually Canada as a country.
No shit.
And a lot of people do credit kind of like this being the birth of Canada. Like true Canada.
Like, because they united because of it?
The fucking Canadians, the Canucks, unite over these goddamn Irish Americans invading their land. It creates this sense of actual nationalism within Canada. They kind of separate themselves from the crown. They're like, no, dude, this is our
This really
land.
is like
We're
9/11.
fucking Canada.
It is.
This is Canada's 9/11.
Canada's
dude.
9/11.
It is St. Patty's Day as this episode comes out, and this is supposed to be about Irish independence and everything. But it ironically leads to Canadian independence.
That's insane.
Whoa. So, but they have it's like a righteous cause. That's why this O'Neill guy is so passionate about fucking them up.
Yeah, because the fucking British are dicks to the Irish throughout history.
Yeah.
But why do they want to go to Canada? Because that's where they're still hanging
British
out.
forces.
It's sort of
Canada's-
like.
But if it's separate countries and they're not fucking with America anymore, like just
No,
chill.
but Canada is the British still at this point.
Yeah.
So it'd pretty much be like taking somebody's family member hostage for negotiating leverage. Like they're taking a cousin hostage to be like, all right, I'm going to kill your cousin unless you give me my house back.
They also think if they can take parts of Canada, the British forces will come over, kind of divert their strength over in Ireland, and leave them vulnerable for a rebellion or attack in Ireland.
Okay.
I mean, overall, it's if they could pull it off, it's not a terrible plan.
Mm-mm. 2 days later, another group of Fenians crossed the border into Quebec at Trout River. The Fenians were sent backpacking across the border again. There were no Canadian casualties. So the Canadians really stepped their game up.
Yeah, they got their shit together, and that was over So this has been going on for like 5 years?
About 5 years.
I wish that was still going on.
There's still just
Like,
random
how cool
groups
if,
of
if you just had a
Irish guys going
friend
up
that was
there.
obsessed with this shit and was like fighting Canada sometimes. We'd wonder if he's coming back or not. And it was just like normal.
Just an Irish mercenary group
Yeah.
going rogue.
Like, we were always just kind of fighting with Canada.
The final act by the Fenians came in October of 1871. O'Neill crossed the Manitoba border at Emerson. He and 40 men took over a customs office. The next day, soldiers from Winnipeg and St. Boniface were marching to meet the invaders when they learned that the U.S. Army had already gone in and arrested O'Neill and his men.
Oh, shit.
This
the
ended
second time.
the Fenian threat for good. O'Neill was arrested twice, but was released and never charged for invading other territory outside of the U.S. The men captured with him were released by the court as simply being dupes of O'Neill.
Dude, they got away with invading another nation multiple times after being told not to do it and being arrested,
And nothing happened.
and then they still don't get in trouble for
That's
it.
fucking awesome. This should have never stopped. You know how, like, different cultures have, like, coming of age ceremonies or whatever? Americans don't have one. This was supposed to be it.
This would be like
When you turn 18 or 16, you go in and invade Canada,
the,
and you get your ass kicked or you kick some ass. You come back and you're like, you're a man now.
the Irish quinceanera is invading Canada.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that'd be sick. Should have been the way it was.
At least treat it like the Olympics, right? Every 4 years, we just go in
Every 4 years
with
we have
an
a war
Irish
with Canada.
force.
Yeah, we can agree. We'll use those shotguns that shoot the sandbags. Like, okay, no deaths, but we're gonna fucking beat each other up, and whoever wins gets that like area for like a year. You know, and then the next year you fight for it again, and you can keep moving territory over.
I would be so down for that.
Yeah,
It's crazy there's not more beef, but it makes sense because a lot of the immigrants from Ireland, when they came over from, obviously, the famines, a lot of them stayed in Canada.
Really?
So you would have thought they could have turned some people in Canada on their behalf or on their side, but yeah, a lot of them couldn't afford to come to the U.S., so they went to Canada.
they must
That
have not
is-
looked cool. They must have looked like shit. Because if they look cool,
Nobody liked the Irish then.
yeah,
They were lower than slaves. Like,
That's what it is. Yeah,
slaves were this was obviously after the Civil War, but before then, slaves were more valuable because they were expensive. You could pay a fucking Irishman, though, to dig a trench for a penny a day. Like, less than that, probably. So he was expendable. If he dies, he dies. Who cares?
He's just Irish.
He's just Irish.
fuck.
We were the
Okay.
original Mexicans.
Well, it's almost like the Irish are the Jews of the West.
I think the Jews are still the Jews of the West.
So
Well,
for,
yeah, now they
for
are.
St. Patrick's Day, we're talking about how they got their asses kicked by Canadians.
Dude, you shouldn't have talked shit about me and my Irish heritage, all right? You fucking mix. You goddamn patties. Potato chucking bitches.
Coop was talking about something. I didn't know that that Canadians are badass. Like, we all make fun of them and, like, talk about how they're just, like, these little fucking forest nerds. But, like, every story I've been hearing that's actually real, they just, like, kick ass.
Up until recently, the Canadian military was, I mean, they were fucking monsters.
What was that? You told it on Crime Corner. You told the story, like, how they got pissed off and they were, like, these super badass team that they made or something that killed a bunch of people.
One of our better episodes was with Coop. It was about Leo Major.
Oh, Leo
It's
Majors.
like their Canadian World War II just war god. He
Sing-
took over a
see?
bunch of towns by himself.
Yes, single-handedly took over an entire town.
Committed a shit ton of war crimes, and
Yeah.
we said that.
But that's badass.
and they got really mad about it. Canadians don't like this show either.
Well, they
Is that the
they're
guy
only
with
upset
the-
because
the-
we're pointing out the fact they have a history of committing a lot of war crimes. Like, they're a huge inspiration for the Geneva Conventions because of the way they acted in World War
You
I.
can't wave a white flag
That's
out
what
of a
I was.
car
Is that the guy with the white?
and then just
yeah.
start shooting them
Yeah,
up.
Yes, you
yeah,
can.
That's Leo Major.
Yes, you can, and he did.
Yeah, well, you know how the old saying goes: it's not a war crime the first time.
Dude, what if Canada just starts invading us and they're just still badass and they just whoop our ass?
They can't.
Because we're on our own soil,
Dude,
so
we
we can't
protect-
just nuke them.
We
They
protect their
missed their
airspace.
opportunity.
They don't, like, whenever, you know the weather balloons that went over both the U.S. and Canada like a year ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago? We had to shoot them down because Canada's Air Force is ass.
Yeah.
They couldn't even shoot down a fucking balloon.
We patrolled
God,
those
But
guys.
they've gone
weren't we not
downhill.
shooting them down because we were like trying to hack back? We were like trying to hack it to get to see who did
That was
it.
an excuse.
Yeah, it was just
That's what we
shitty-
said.
We kept
shitty
saying it was
leadership
hobbyist.
overall.
It was a hobbyist balloon.
It was a big ass hobby balloon. Wasn't that thing like the size of an SUV
Dude, they
or
sent
like
a
a
couple,
bus or some
yeah.
shit?
Yeah.
Dude, the Canadians are gonna fuck us up.
Whenever I think Canada, I think of Letterkenny. And that
Oh,
Puts me in a
okay.
good mood.
That kind of Canadian I can get behind. That's just the redneck of the north there, and I definitely have a soft spot in my heart
that's
for rednecks.
most of Canada. Most of Canada's a bunch of rednecks.
Maybe
I liked
do
Canada the
Canada.
couple times I've been there, but I've only been to Vancouver. But just my culture tells me I hate Canada, and I hate French people, and I don't know why.
Well, whenever we play hockey against Canada, I start to ramp up my hatred for Canada. Because they always beat us.
But didn't we win that one?
We lost the championship.
But we won that first one,
We won the first. That doesn't.
and we
count.
beat them up, right? Or
Yeah,
did we
who
lose
cares
the
Who
fights?
cares if you win the first one and lose the championship? That doesn't matter.
What matters to me is the fights. Did we win the fights?
Couple. I think we lost a fight.
Yeah. See, Canadians are badass, dude. I think they are. We're in denial, dude. That's why it's not America, because they're just like, fuck you guys.
Their government's ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So's ours.
There's worse. Much
yeah,
worse.
theirs is real bad. Trudeau was.
But I think
real,
most
real
Canadians
bad.
would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good ones, at least.
Yeah. The ones that listen to this show. Yeah, and that was the Fenian raids, the Fenian Brotherhood. O'Neill, didn't really have to answer for any of his fucking war crimes, I guess.
Retired happy,
Yeah.
married a Canadian, had kids.
I don't know if he married a Canadian, but just for
Even
the sake of
Canadians
the
have
story.
standards. They're not going to marry an Irishman.
Roberts went on, I believe, to serve in U.S. politics. There was a Fenian Brotherhood kind of revolt in Ireland in 1967, I believe. I think that kind of gets squashed again. Because they don't get independence until, I think, the 1920s.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know that it was, the grand scheme of things, fairly recent.
So what actually ends up happening in the long run for these Irish people?
Yeah, the
that
treaty
hate
happened in
the British?
1921. Irish Free State, self-governing, 21, 22.
They got it eventually, but it was through diplomacy that time, wasn't it? Not through straight up war. Well, a combination.
talked it
Irish
out.
War of Independence was 1919 to 1921, so I
Okay.
imagine it was a guerrilla war. Maybe
Where
not
was
like
that?
head on.
That was out over
It
there.
was in Ireland.
Mm-hmm. No, oddly enough, they fought that in Canada too.
Canada just becomes where everyone meets.
Everybody just goes there to do war.
It's a neutral court game. We should honestly, dude, clear out some piece of shit land and just have all your wars there so we don't like upset or crater a bunch of like history.
Dude, it's like a global war arena somewhere. I mean, just clear out like a big part of Central Africa or something like that.
What are we doing with Mongolia right now?
Shit, nothing. There's
What
a
if we-
whole lot of open space out there.
What if we
too.
just start moving the border like an inch a day without saying anything? Like put all the buildings at the border line and stuff and just like move it a little bit. Then after like a year, they're like, wait, you're like 4 feet closer.
No,
Like,
no,
we're
we're
not.
not. That's where
And
it's
then
always been.
Just keep moving it over and over and over until Canada has to attack us.
Yeah, it's like a fucking new neighbor rebuilding the fence.
Yeah,
Going
just
closer
like
and
that. Like you
closer.
just keep kind of.
Keep doing that generation by generation.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Like,
Don't
no,
know
that
what you're
tree's on
talking
my
about.
side of the fence.
Yep, always has been.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
my oranges.
A couple hundred years and they'll just all be the United States. Canada will be like a beach town.
It's just the Yukon. We will give them that. Like, you can have that. We don't want that. That's gross land. So, yeah, fucking Ireland gets their independence in the 20s. This whole thing kind of galvanizes Canada to want their own sovereignty. They kind of get the wheels in motion and have their own national kind of pride after this. And you can really thank the Irish for Canada.
I think
in a
that
way.
would be the lesson to take away from this episode is if you're in Canada, you need to be more grateful for the Irish.
Kiss an Irishman.
Yeah. The Irish made you tough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They kind of put you to the test.
They should have fucked more shit up when they were over there. I feel like they only got 9 kills.
We got Lake Erie
Yeah, which
for
is-
like a
isn't bad.
couple days.
I think they were too nice in their message.
Just the
too.
Irish, we're not conquerors. We're not good at that.
Yeah, not historically.
Yeah, they should have like tortured and raped the women. They should have killed all the kids when they got in
maybe
there.
maybe that's taking it a little too far.
No, dude, you got to show them. Like, if you don't give us our freedom, we're gonna kill everybody.
Now, that's not to say the Irish aren't good warriors, though. They fought off the Vikings in like the 800s, 900s.
I mean, they're
did
good
a pretty
fighters,
good
just
job.
not good organizers.
Not good organizers, and also just lazy, maybe. They don't have the will or want to expand.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, dude, what? You're going to be good at war
I'm
just
good
defend
right
your
now,
land?
dude.
Okay, dude. What about being a colonial power? Ireland will never.
Yeah,
They're just
don't
good
see
with
that
what they
happening
have.
anytime
Just
soon.
take their beer and whiskey away, and they'll fucking murder us.
Oh,
all.
they'll take over the world to get that shit back.
Yeah.
We're peaceful people, I guess. We have no wants or desires. It's the Irishman's dilemma.
Yeah, just give us some booze and a place to sleep, and we're happy.
What is it from Archer? Not just to kind of go back to that. She's like, Mallory Archer's quote is, the Irishman's dilemma is, do I eat the potato now or wait for it to
Ferment.
ferment?
What's the coolest shit Irish people have done? Leprechauns?
Yeah,
don't
Lucky
even-
Charms?
Don't even think they want to own leprechauns.
I mean, Lucky Charms are pretty good. I'd say that's probably like the best export from Ireland.
Dude, Connor didn't even defend
But-
the featherweight belt
No, he just bailed.
or the lightweight belt for that matter.
Hey, shay.
Trying to think, their soccer team's never good either.
Irish people play soccer?
Like, what's the coolest
big
shit
over
Irish
there?
people have done? Do you guys know or no?
I don't think
nothing
anybody
about
knows.
Just
what
we got to
they've done.
say something positive about them for St. Patrick's
They haven't
Day,
done
right?
much. Is our whole point.
Yeah.
that seems to be the lesson of the episode.
And that's going to upset more Irish people. They're going to revoke my Irish card. I feel like I'm allowed to talk
I
about
already took it. Can't take it a second time.
it. All
They've,
right.
they've got to have done some cool shit. Like
Top Irish inventions.
here we go. This is
Guin-
what I'm talking about.
Guinness.
See, Guinness. Okay, they made Guinness.
That's what's listed as one of the top Irish inventions.
Yes.
Great beer.
I don't even know if these are real, though, because, like, AI's been real ass lately.
That's the only ball. That's the only beer that has that like ball inside it.
I mean, I guess
That
that's
I've drank.
I guess that's a flex.
Apparently,
If you haven't done anything else,
they invented color photography in 1894.
huh?
Did that not just catch? It must have been bad color photography because we didn't use that shit
They
till
invented color,
much later.
Yeah, color in general. They
like
invented
being
it.
able to take a photo in color. That's actually badass.
Apparently, or was that
In
like
1894, but we didn't. When was that actually commonplace in photography? Probably not till the 60s.
I have no idea when like photography. I don't even remember. Like color TVs happened in like 1960, 50.
Technicolor. Yeah. They created the nothing really cool yet.
They haven't done shit.
Apparently, the ejector seat. was
Okay,
created.
that's badass.
all right? That's it's all right. Not as cool as color photography.
Dude, ejector seat's fucking insane. Of course the Irish would
Oh,
invent
dude, they're
that.
still in valor here. They said the submarine. Submarine was invented in like the 1600s by like a Danish dude.
Weren't I thought somebody during was it like the Civil War or the Revolutionary War? I thought it was invented here in America.
It was invented before that. It was over in like it was either Denmark or one of the Nordic countries.
No shit.
Yeah, who invented this?
Fucking Irish trying to steal credit for it.
Always, dude. Just fucking putting
So they
slapping
just
their
haven't
name on
really
it.
done anything except be slaves and lose at war
We're really good at being like indentured servants.
and drink.
Really
it.
good at getting shit on.
I'm sorry, a Dutch. He's Dutch. Yeah, Cornelius Drebbel invented the submarine technically in 1620, which is insane.
Damn.
And when did they say they invented it?
1878.
like 1986.
Maybe the modern.
Maybe they had
submarine?
no idea about them, so they did technically invent it for themselves. Without any influence, right? So that would count still.
They're
It
claiming they
could be.
invented flavored potato chips.
Okay, if it has anything to do with potatoes, I can believe the Irish had a hand in it.
That's a top 10 invention from Ireland.
Flavored potato chips.
Not even a real potato chip, just but we threw on like salt
they've
and
been to
vinegar.
So the
Space?
Irish didn't even invent the fucking potato chip.
Uh-uh.
Oh man, I'm disappointed in my heritage.
Has Ireland gone to space?
No,
Oh
Yeah.
God, no.
there's no way Ireland has a space program.
That was something I looked up because my wife's from Czech Republic, and the fourth person to ever go into space was a Czech person.
Really,
one of the things they're proud of.
Part of the Russian space program.
I don't know which one it was, but yeah,
Pretty sure
it was like the fourth person to go into space or stand on the moon or something like that was a Czech person. You know that Trump's ex-wife is Czech?
Well, I thought she was. Wait, are you sure?
Yeah, 100% sure.
Melania's Czech?
Melania is Slavic, but she's not Czech. But before Melania, he married a Czech woman.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
The
Melania.
lady that just died?
Yeah, she died in like 2 years ago or 3 years ago or something.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of stolen valor here with what they claim were their own inventions that rock the world. These are just wrong. They're saying they invented chemistry. That's wrong.
Let them have
Yeah,
it. dude.
The Irish did not invent chemistry.
Just tell it's okay.
What,
just
like,
tell
just
them they
top
invented
cool.
it.
Like, what's the top 10 things they've ever done?
The
Not just
Kelvin
inventing
scale?
shit.
Cool, dude. Fucking they're saying Transformers. I don't see Optimus Prime here.
Yeah, dude, wouldn't it be Optimus O Prime?
Beer manufacturing with Guinness. All right, maybe that's cool. That would be actually their coolest thing. Just manufacturing beer.
Guinness is the only invention of the Irish.
It seems that way.
Because some of those they have to be taken credit for inventions that were like created in other countries by somebody who has Irish heritage, like an Irish American guy.
They're claiming the submarine, but again, I just disproved you. Drebel did that first.
Yeah, where the hell are they getting that from?
I guess modern submarine.
Wow, they're actually kind of fucked. I searched, what is the coolest thing that the Irish have ever done? And it's like the Irish have some cool writers and made music.
I guess I'll give them
Dropkick Murphys.
James Joyce.
color photography. I'll give them that.
That's pretty cool.
That's nothing really else. You know, we're too busy. We're too busy telling
it's on
stories
here.
about
In
our past.
1881, a
getting
3-man
enslaved.
submarine called the Fenian Ram was launched, which could dive to the depth of 45 feet. I can swim that far down. You can do that with a bucket in a cinder block.
They're saying the first dude that split an atom was Irish.
There you go.
I don't know if that's true. I'm not going to just continue reading off Google, though. Boys, thanks for joining me.
Happy to be
Hell
here.
yeah.
Man. Thanks for having us.
In my time of need, Rob was not here. Instead, I carried the show. Got
You did great.
2 great guys, 2 great guests. And, we powered through. We got to the source of what made Canada. We learned the Irish aren't great at really
Pretty much anything.
The last thing I read, I know, but surfing apparently.
There's no way.
No, there's no way in hell. That came straight out of Hawaii. They've been doing that for like thousands of years.
Nobody's even getting in the water in Ireland.
So
freezing
they've been
up there.
surfing for a while, and
You're just going to bash into
Europe's
a bunch
best
of
surfing is in Ireland.
jagged rocks. There's no way.
That's what it says. Due to the rugged coastline along the Atlantic Ocean, it's like the perfect place for surfing.
Yeah, to
and
die.
They were doing it.
I'm not giving them credit on surfing.
An Irishman designed the White House.
Okay. All right. Who's today's Hitler? Joel? Joel's today's
The
Hitler.
Irish.
The Irish in general.
Ireland as a country, you never deserved independence, I guess. You need to go back to being indentured servants. Unless you guys want to give me my card back, I'll gladly accept being Irish again. But until then, my English roots will come out.
And I think the real Hitler of this episode
Canada.
is well, it's always Canada. No, what was his name? Roberts, the guy who forced out O'Mahony. I think that's the real Hitler of this episode. I mean, you don't fuck over your bro like that.
Yeah.
I think
More
he was
money.
the president.
He could have
for
just bankrolled the movement
not
and
saying no.
let O'Mahony stay in charge.
O'Mahony was old news. He was old hat. All right, boys. Do you guys want to plug anything? You got anything you want to?
Yeah, well, I'd like to plug the fact that 3 Irishmen signed the Declaration of Independence.
Okay, so we got that going for us.
Who?
An Irishman composed
Who were the Irish people?
the
that
initial
signed
tune for the Star Spangled Banner.
No.
They're
It's
music
not,
dudes.
It's not bad. Still hasn't invented anything yet.
No. we're not going to find it. You
Yeah.
can see her all day. It won't happen. Anyway, for Joel Benner, Matt Cooper, I'm Dan Regester, and you just got soft serve.